Australian drivers are paying more for fuel after the federal government's excise discount came to an end at midnight. The federal government's cut to the amount of tax it imposes on petrol, diesel and other fuels officially came to an end at midnight, and that's adding around 16 cents per litre to wholesale prices. So let's get more on this. Ian Jeffries is Principal Economic and Affordability Specialist for the ACCC. Ian, welcome and thank you for being with us this morning. What have we seen so far this morning?
Look, so far we haven't seen any sharp increases in petrol prices. Looking around Brisbane today, we're seeing most sites still priced at $1.99. There are a few that have jumped up to about $2.03 to $2.04 per litre. And this sort of like situation we expect to see in most of our capital cities.
Now, we know that the Treasurer has written to the consumer watchdog, the ACCC, asking for extra scrutiny at these prices we're seeing at the Bowser. When we had the cut, though, that flowed through pretty quickly. So can you explain what should happen here?
So as you said, look, excise is charged at the wholesale level. So the fuel in the ground this morning, fuel that was delivered potentially last week, will still be charged at the old rate of excise. So that was 36.6 cents per litre. Over the next week to 10 days, we will see that new fuel flow into our retail network, and we will see, a slow but steady increase in retail prices.
So that warning or threat from the Treasurer, how seriously will fuel suppliers take this, do you think?
Look, I think they are, certainly they will take any comments by the Treasurer very seriously. This is the second time we've had that increase in the fuel excise. Look, when we go back to early July, when they increased excise by 16 cents, we didn't see a sharp jump up in the petrol price. We did see prices slowly increase over the course of, like that week to 10 days. From what we can see at the moment, certainly fuel companies have heeded that warning and are only very modestly increasing prices.
And do we know what sort of trigger would see the ACCC step in?
Look, I think if there are prices that are unduly high, prices over and above what we would expect given the increase in the wholesale price, I think that would be the trigger for the ACCC to step in. Going back to March, we did see some fuel companies hike their prices early, and we did refer that to the ACCC, and certainly ACCC and the other auto clubs, and I'm sure the ACCC will be closely monitoring prices at this time.
Where are we now at with supply? What's the latest update on that?
So supply is strong. Some of the measures that have been taken have bolstered supply. So there is plenty of fuel in the Australian market. So supply isn't a problem at this time. Look, we will see, pricing is on the way up. And, the excise is only one element of pricing. We have also seen an increase in the price of oil over the last week. So that will also put upward pressure on prices.
And what are the predictions moving forward then? Because as we know, this war is ongoing.
Yeah. Look, I think in the next few weeks, unleaded should max out at about $2.20 a litre. Certainly there's no reason why it would be anywhere higher than $2.20 a litre. Diesel, unfortunately, is significantly more expensive, and diesel prices could reach up into the $2.60 price range.
Are there any additional measures that could be put in place to take away the sting of these prices if they get quite high?
Look, I think at the moment, prices are on the increase. They are certainly quite a bit lower than we saw back in the beginning of April and early March, when unleaded hit $2.60 a litre. Diesel peaked at about $3.30 a litre. Certainly there are other cost of living measures, and that would the federal government could consider, and we would leave that to them to consider. In terms of what we can do individually, there is cheaper fuel in the market at the moment, and we would expect cheaper fuel to be retained for the next week or so. So it is important for all of us to get onto the price comparison apps, look at the different sites, and give our business to those retailers that are keeping a lower price for longer.
Ian Jeffries from the ACCC, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.